They have only gone silent, and with the right approach, they can be brought back to life. My name is Juan Jaimes, a urologist with over 3 decades of experience helping men regain strength, intimacy, and self-assurance. I have guided thousands of men in their 60s and 70s to reclaim what they thought was gone, without dangerous medications or invasive surgery, but through their own hands, their own breathing, and just a few mindful minutes daily. Here lies a contradiction. Many men assume that age robs them of erection forever. Yet, research and countless stories prove the opposite. Deep inside, your nerves, your blood flow, and your manhood remain functional. The answer is not a pill or device, but 3 forgotten spots on your body that act like hidden triggers. Press them correctly, and your mornings transform. That is a promise I share today. By mastering these pressure points and pairing them with easy daily practices, you can restore circulation, sensitivity, and natural morning strength again, without shame, without reliance, and without fear. Stay with me, because in a moment, I'll reveal each of these spots in detail, show you how to locate them, and explain the routines that make them effective for life. Before we continue, please subscribe and tap the notification bell so you never miss a powerful health lesson for men over 60. And if this message connects with you, type 1 in the comments to let me know. If not, type 0 so I can keep improving these sessions. Now let's begin with the most important truth. Erections do not vanish simply because of age. What really happens is your body's natural channel for blood and nerve signals grow quiet. Once you see this clearly, everything changes. The truth about aging and erections is something I wish every man past 60 could hear from his doctor. The loss of morning strength is not proof you are broken or beyond repair. It does not mean your manhood has abandoned you. What's truly happening is much simpler and more hopeful. Your body still remembers how to rise each morning. Your nerves are alive. Your vessels are able. Your masculinity is waiting. But with time, the signals have weakened. The switches that once flicked on easily now sit idle. The pathways carrying energy have gone unused. I've spoken with countless men in my office who lower their voices and ask, "Doc, what's wrong with me? I used to wake up ready, but now nothing happens." And I look them in the eye and say, "There's nothing wrong with you. Your body only needs to be reminded." Aging is not the same as losing. It doesn't erase your ability. It only makes it easier to forget the signals that once came naturally. Think of it like a room in your home you stopped visiting. The electricity is still there. The lights still work. But because the switch hasn't been flipped for years, the room stays dark. That doesn't mean the power is gone. It means a connection hasn't been made. Erections function the same way. The current is inside you. It just hasn't been turned on. I recall a man named Harold, 74, who sat across from me with tears in his eyes. He said, "Doc, I don't even care about sex anymore. I just want to wake up one morning and feel alive again." His words struck me because they revealed what men truly want. Not just an erection, but the sense of life, dignity, and confidence it brings. After only weeks of practicing what I showed him, Harold called and said, "This morning, for the first time in 10 years, I felt like myself again." That is the truth about aging and erections. They don't disappear because you're old. They fade because you stopped sending the signals, because no one ever taught you how to keep them alive. But here's the powerful, undeniable hope. Those pathways can be awakened. They are within you right now, waiting to respond as soon as you give them attention. And this is where it becomes exciting. There are 3 hidden points on your body that act as switches. When pressed with the right touch, the right breath, and intention, they flip the circuits back on. Blood begins to flow, sensitivity returns, and your body remembers what it once did with ease. So let me begin by showing you the first of these points, located just above the pubic bone, a place most men overlook. But once activated, everything changes. The first point, above the pubic bone. The very first spot lies just above your pubic bone, that narrow area where your abdomen meets your pelvis. Most men ignore it, assuming it's nothing more than skin and bone. But in truth, this region is a vital control center of male energy. When I press gently here with a patient, I often see his eyes widen as something stays he thought was lost. At first, it's faint, like a hum of energy, but that hum grows into warmth, better circulation, and eventually a natural response no drug could replicate. I remember Walter, age 67, who came to me feeling defeated. He told me, "Doc, he told me, it's gone. I haven't woken up strong in years." I placed his hand on the area above his pubic bone and guided him to breathe slowly into it, applying gentle pressure, not force, just steady presence. Within minutes, he felt a light wave of warmth. His face softened, his posture lifted, and for the first time during our talk, he smiled. 2 weeks later, he returned saying, "Every morning now, I feel movement down there again. I thought it was gone, but it's coming back." That is the strength of this spot. Its power isn't mystical. It's rooted in biology. Running beneath this area are vital nerves and vessels that supply the lower organs. Over time, when left unstimulated, their signals weaken, blood flow decreases, and circulation slows. By pressing this place with mindful breath, you're literally reminding your body to restore energy and flow where it belongs. Think of it as knocking on a door that's been shut too long. With one knock, the door opens and pathways reawaken. I always remind patients not to rush this process. It's not about pressing harder or forcing a response in the moment. It's about reopening communication with your body. Your manhood responds best when treated with patience and respect. Once that connection returns, strength follows naturally. Many men have shared that simply touching this area each day not only reawakened physical response, but also gave them back a sense of dignity, proof that their bodies are still alive and capable. Yet as powerful as this first spot is, it is only the beginning. There's another location that men almost never hear about, though it may be the most important of all. It sits in the space between the scrotum and the anus, a region most men overlook, yet one that can unleash a rush of circulation sensation when awakened. Discovering it often changes everything. The second point, the perineum, between anus and scrotum. Now we arrive at the second point, and I can say with confidence that very few men have ever truly noticed it. This area, called the perineum, is a soft tissue that rests between your anus and scrotum. In Eastern traditions, it's been studied for thousands of years and is known as CV1. In Western medicine, it's rarely mentioned, which is unfortunate because this point holds extraordinary influence over male circulation and sensitivity. When I first introduced patients to it, most were doubtful, wondering why they should focus on a place they had ignored all their lives. But I encouraged them, sit on a small rolled towel or soft cushion, breathe deeply, and simply let the body relax into the pressure. What happened next was often astonishing. Within minutes, many reported warmth in their lower body, a faint pulsing, or simply a quiet awareness that something inside them was stirring again. I remember Thomas, a 71-year-old Marine veteran. He said, "Doc, it's like the lights went out down there. I don't feel anything anymore." I showed him how to sit with light pressure on his perineum. No straining, no pushing, just breath and stillness. Within days, he called me saying, "Something's happening. It's faint, but I feel a pulse again. I feel alive." Weeks later, he reported that his mornings were no longer empty. He felt warmth, sensation, and even natural strength returning after years of absence. Why does this work? Because the perineum functions like a valve. When it is tight or neglected, blood flow is restricted, nerve messages are cut off, and the body forgets how to direct energy to the penis. But when you release this tension with mindful breathing and pressure, the valve opens. Stagnant blood begins moving, nerve signals reconnect, and sensation slowly awakens in a place you thought was gone forever. It doesn't happen in a day, but even the smallest flicker of life can spark enormous hope. And hope is what transforms everything. Once a man feels even a trace of vitality returning, his mindset shifts. He no longer sees himself as broken. He stands differently. He trusts his body again, and he realizes aging does not mean surrender. This is why the perineum is so crucial. It's a gateway, a hidden switch most men never discover. Yet once it's awakened, it can unleash a cascade of healing. But as powerful as this point is, there is still one more, one that surprises nearly every man I've taught. Strangely, it isn't even in the groin. In fact, it runs along the inner thigh in a place most men never associate with erections. Yet when activated, it can provide the final key to restoring energy and strength in ways you never imagined. The third point, inner thigh line, femoral pathway. The third point is perhaps the most overlooked of all. It doesn't sit on your penis or groin, yet it has a direct role in whether you wake up with natural strength. It lies along the crease of your inner thigh, where the thigh meets the lower abdomen. Hidden beneath that soft fold are the femoral artery and nerve, two of the main highways carrying blood and signals to your manhood. When these pathways grow stiff, blocked, or neglected, erections lose their fullness, sensitivity, and natural force. But once you reawaken them, everything changes. Most men think of their thighs only as muscle for walking or standing. They rarely see them as essential to sexual health. But I remember one man in particular, a 68-year-old truck driver. After decades behind the wheel, he told me he felt completely disconnected from his lower body. "Doc," he said, "I always thought my thighs were just for carrying me around. I never imagined they had anything to do with what happens in the bedroom." I guided him to trace his fingers along the inner crease, pausing on tight or tender spots, and to breathe slowly as he applied light pressure. At first, Earl laughed it off, saying it felt odd, even pointless. But after a week, something changed. "Doc," he told me with a grin, "I feel warmer down below. It's like the blood is moving again." By the second week, he said he was waking up with a firmness he hadn't felt in years. What moved me most was what he added. "I don't just feel more in my body, I feel more like a man." That is the hidden strength of this point. It doesn't only bring back blood flow. It restores confidence, self-control, and the quiet dignity of knowing your body still responds to you. The science here is simple but powerful. The femoral artery is one of the main pipelines delivering blood to the lower organs. The femoral nerve carries sensation back and forth. When those channels are restricted, no pill can replace what's lost. But when you gently press, massage, and breathe into this crease, you release tension, improve flexibility, and open the road again. Blood moves freely. Nerve signals reconnect. The body remembers what it can do. Many men I've worked with report not only stronger erections, but also deeper sleep, calmer mornings, and more energy in their legs. It's as though the whole lower body comes alive again, carrying with it the manhood that had been waiting patiently for its return. Now you've learned all 3 points: the pubic bone, the perineum, and the inner thigh line that act as switches to reignite your natural vitality. But pressing these points alone is not the whole picture. If the foundation of your body is weak, the benefits may fade. That's why I want to show you a set of daily habits, small, simple, yet powerful, that turn these techniques from a quick spark into a steady flame. When you hear them, you'll see why men who follow them don't just wake up harder, but live with more strength, energy, and calm than they believed possible. 5. Why these points work. Science made simple. By now, you may be asking yourself, why do these 3 points, the pubic bone, the perineum, and the inner thigh line, make such a dramatic difference? What is really happening beneath the skin when you press, breathe, and bring awareness to them? The answer is not mystery or magic, but the combination of basic science and the wisdom of reconnecting with your own body. Erections are the result of 2 systems working together, blood flow and nerve signals. When both are open and strong, you wake up hard every morning without trying. When either is blocked, the strength fades, not because you've lost the ability, but because the communication is broken. Picture your body as a city filled with roads and power lines. The arteries are the roads carrying traffic. The nerves are the electrical lines keeping everything lit. If a road is blocked, traffic can't move. If the power lines weaken, the lights dim. But when the road's clear and the current flows, the whole city comes alive. That's exactly what these points do. The spot above the pubic bone restores circulation in the pelvis, sending fresh blood to the organs that rely on it. The perineum works like a valve, opening flow that may have been shut down for years and reawakening silent nerves. And the inner thigh line clears the main highway, allowing blood and signals to surge toward your manhood once again. I've seen countless men who thought they were finished, who believed age had taken everything, find that within weeks of stimulating these areas, warmth, sensitivity, and natural strength returned. I think of Leonard, a 69-year-old who once said, "Doc, I don't care about sex anymore. I just want proof my body still responds." After practicing these methods, he called one morning with joy in his voice. It happened. I woke up hard. No pills, no tricks, just me, His excitement said it all. It wasn't only about the physical response. It was about dignity, confidence, and the relief of knowing he was still whole. Science explains what these men experience. When blood flow improves, nitric oxide is released, vessels expand, and sensitivity heightens. When nerves reawaken, the brain sends stronger signals, and the body responds immediately. You don't need to battle your body. You only need to remind it of the pathways it already knows. And once you do, your mornings shift from emptiness to proof of life. But here's the key. While the points are powerful, they are not the entire solution. Think of them as switches that turn the lights back on. If the wiring of the house is old or corroded, the lights may flicker. To make the change last, to keep the current flowing for years, you must strengthen the foundation your body depends on. That's where a handful of simple daily habits make all the difference. Small enough to surprise you, yet powerful enough to turn these methods into a lasting way of life. And once you discover them, you'll see that the true secret to lasting strength isn't in what you do once in a while, but in the small choices you make daily. 6. The supporting habits. 5 daily boosters. These supporting habits, 5 simple boosters, are what keep everything steady. You already know why the 3 main points matter, but here's what makes a difference between short-term results and long-term change. Working on the points alone can trigger noticeable shifts. But if you want those results to last, if you want to wake up each day with strength that feels natural and effortless, you need to back them up with a few daily practices. These aren't extreme workouts or complex programs. They are easy, consistent actions that build a base where erections can flourish. And when I say easy, I mean so simple most men ignore them at first. Yet those who follow through notice their progress multiplying many times over. The first habit is breathing. Not the shallow chest breathing most of us do, but slow, deep belly breaths. Just 5 minutes a day of mindful nasal breathing into the diaphragm has helped men lower blood pressure, relax vessels, and boost nitric oxide. One man said, "Doc, I didn't think this mattered, but after 1 week, I felt calmer, and my mornings were stronger." Breathing reconnects you to energy, and your masculinity feels that shift. The second habit is hydration, beginning your day with a glass of warm water. After hours of sleep, your blood thickens. Warm water gently thins it, restoring healthy flow, especially where it's most needed. It's a tiny step, but one that primes circulation for strength. The third habit is cutting back on sugar, particularly at night. Dessert might feel comforting, but sugar silently damages a lining of blood vessels. Every spoonful makes recovery harder, and weaker vessels lead to weaker performance. I've had patients simply stop eating late-night sweets, and within weeks, they noticed their morning strength was fuller because healing could finally take place. The fourth habit is movement. You don't need to lift heavy or run far. Even a short, light walk after dinner helps. That simple walk activates your body's natural venous pump, supporting blood flow back to the heart and keeping circulation steady through the night. It's easy, safe, and makes a huge impact on blood reaching your lower body. The fifth habit is how you treat the practice itself. If you rush through with irritation, your nervous system resists. But if you treat it with patience and respect, your body responds. This isn't just positive thinking. It's a way your nervous system reacts to presence and care. Together, these 5 daily boosters anchor the 3 main points into a lifelong routine. They are the reinforcements that prevent your progress from slipping away. They are the daily reminders to your body. I value you. I trust you. And if you're still wondering whether these habits really work, you're not alone. Many men feel doubtful at first, questioning if the methods are too simple or if maybe they won't respond. I understand that hesitation because I've spoken with countless men who thought the same. But time and again, I've seen proof. When a man commits, no matter his age, his body adapts. And the changes are never only physical. They touch dignity, confidence, and self-worth in ways that go beyond words. Take Harold, a 74-year-old retired postal worker. He came to me tired from chasing pills and quick fixes. "Doc," he said, "I don't need to feel 20. I just want to feel like I still matter." His voice carried the silent struggle many men face. I showed him the 3 points and reminded him his body wasn't broken. 3 weeks later, he called me, voice shaking. It happened. For the first time in over a decade, I woke up strong, naturally. That day, It wasn't just his erection that returned. It was his sense of being alive. Then there was Leonard, 69, who admitted he no longer cared about sex. "I just want to know my body can still respond," he said. He started the practices with low expectations, but soon noticed warmth, sensation, and a pulse he thought was gone. One morning, he messaged me, "Doc, I know I'm not done. I still have life in me." That moment gave him back his sense of manhood. And Earl, a truck driver who spent years stiff and worn from sitting long hours, found not only stronger erections but also energy in his legs and calm mornings. "I feel in control again," he told me. "I feel like myself." These stories are not just about morning strength returning. They are about hope, dignity, and confidence being restored. These men stepped back into themselves. They stood taller, rested more deeply, and saw in the mirror pride instead of defeat. Their lives transformed when they understood their body still had energy to give, that their story was not finished, and that they were still capable of feeling alive. Yet as powerful as these stories are, there is one more lesson to share, perhaps the most important one, because if you want these changes to last, not just for a few weeks or months, but for the rest of your days, you must grasp the one principle that makes all the difference. And once you hear it, you will realize your greatest years are not behind you but waiting just ahead. Lesson 8, the final lesson. After decades of working with men in their 60s, 70s, even 80s, I've seen one truth rise above all others. Real transformation doesn't come from trying something once or from pressing a point a few times and expecting a miracle. It comes from devotion, from showing up daily with patience and intention. That is how practice becomes ritual, how a spark becomes a flame, how a man reclaims what he once thought was gone forever. I have watched men discover the 3 points and feel excitement, only to slip back into doubt once they stop practicing. And I have watched others who made these methods a daily act of self-respect transform not only their mornings but their entire lives. The difference was not in their age, their medical history, or their luck. The difference was in consistency. They chose to honor their bodies, to give a few minutes each day to breathing, pressing, and reconnecting. And over time, those minutes rewrote the story of their manhood. Understand this. It is not about chasing youth. It is not about turning back the clock or pretending you are 25 again. It is about stepping into the season of life with dignity, confidence, and strength. It is about telling your body, "I believe in you. I trust you. I will not abandon you." And when you do that, when these techniques become daily ritual, your body answers in ways that will surprise you. You will rise stronger, rest deeper, and carry yourself with a calm assurance that others will notice. I think of Walter, who said, "Doc, I feel like I've regained a part of myself I thought was gone." I think of Harold, who realized his morning still held promise. I think of Leonard, who felt pride in knowing his body could still respond. None of them were trying to be young again. They were reclaiming presence, respect, and their connection to life itself. That is the final lesson I leave with you here. It is not about pressing points once or twice and waiting for magic. It is about deciding daily to reconnect, to breathe, to touch with patience, and to believe your body still carries power within it, because it does. And when you honor that power consistently, it rewards you in ways that change much more than erections. It changes how you see yourself as a man. Now, as we enter the last stage of this journey, I want to bring everything together. Because the points, the practices, the stories, and the science all lead to one powerful truth. When you hear it, you'll realize your prime is not a memory of the past, but a reality ready to be lived again. Conclusion. As we close this journey, take a moment to reflect on what you've learned. You may have started this message with doubt, maybe frustration, wondering if your body's best days were already over. But now you know the truth. Your body is not broken. Your masculinity is not gone. And your age does not determine your ability to feel alive again. You've discovered 3 simple points above the pubic bone, the perineum, and the inner thigh that act as hidden switches waiting for you to turn them back on. You've also learned that when you pair these switches with daily habits like slow breathing, warm water, reduced sugar, gentle walks, and treating your body with care, you lay the foundation for lasting vitality. I've shared not just the science, but the stories of real men, Harold, Leonard, Earl, who once thought they were finished only to discover their bodies still held energy, dignity, and power. And as I told their stories, I thought of you, listening now, because I know within you lies the same spark, the same quiet desire to wake each day knowing your body still belongs to you, still responds to you, still carries the strength of man who has lived, endured, and overcome. This is not about chasing youth. It is about reclaiming what has always been yours but may have been quiet for too long. Each time you press these points with patience and breathe deeply, you are not just stirring blood flow or nerves. You are reminding yourself, I am still here. I still matter. My story is not over. Each time you walk after a meal, choose water over sugar, or slow your breath, you reinforce a message. I respect my body. I trust my body. I will not give up on my body. The final lesson, the one I hope you carry forward, is this: real change does not come from doing something once. It comes from showing up every single day with care and intention. That is how men like Walter, Thomas, and countless others renewed their mornings, their confidence, and their sense of self. And that is how you can too. The strength you seek is already within you, waiting to be awakened. So as you finish this message, take it personally. Tonight, before bed, or tomorrow morning when you rise, make the choice to begin. Find the points. Breathe. Commit to showing up for yourself. Because once you do, you'll discover what so many others have found, that your prime is not gone. It is alive now, ready to return the moment you decide to claim it. And when you do, you won't just wake up harder. You'll wake up stronger, prouder, and more deeply connected to the man you truly are.